Hi folks, and welcome back to another Travels with Red Rover. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Corinne.
And this week we are back out in the beautiful aspens of southern Utah, enjoying some fall photography.
Yes, we've come down to a little lower elevation this week, and we're doing some photography near Duck Creek Village in southern Utah.
It's going to be a beautiful few days, and we hope you'll enjoy the video. Although Corinne and I don't talk about it very much, we will spend hundreds of miles on these fire roads and back gravel roads looking for the various shots that we're after. The week that we spent up in Utah, we were at the front end of the fall color, and we were really looking for strong mixtures of yellows, golds, and greens to frame our shots. Good morning, folks. It's another absolutely beautiful day. We're up really early. It's only been sun up for about 20 minutes, and the sun's just cracking over a little grove of trees here behind me, and I'm just waiting for it to get over the trees just enough to light up this scene in front of me here. The only thing that could make this better would be some nice big white puffy clouds, and hopefully they'll show up sometime while we're out here. Corinne's out working the scene as well. She's decided to walk out in front of my picture. I think she's doing this just on purpose now. Yep, she thinks this is a beautiful spot. Well, at least she waves. That would not be a good place for you to stand. Ah, it's the classic photographer's response. Can I just get one picture? Classic. Yes, you can get a picture. So we've been walking around and we've found this beautiful grove of really colored aspens. What color's that one, Corinne?
That one's green, Shawn.
Oh, again. So Corinne, what color's that tree?
That's another green tree, Shawn.
Oh, darn. So Corinne, what color is this one?
Green.
Okay. So Corinne, what color is this tree?
Oh, you finally found one. It's burnt orange and yellow.
Wow, finally. It's probably become fairly obvious that through our Corinne's and my little joking around, that I am profoundly colorblind. I literally could not see, or not really so much to see the color, but distinguish between the yellow, greens, and reds without Corinne's help. So it makes fall color kind of an interesting challenge for me, because quite often I have little or no idea what color I'm actually shooting if Corinne's not there to actually tell me what I'm shooting. So much of the time I'm far more interested in shooting composition and lighting than I really am in shooting the color itself. The color is almost a byproduct of what I do when we're out here shooting. It's also true when we go out to shoot really colorful sunsets. I don't often have any idea, or only a marginal idea, of when I'm shooting a brightly colored sky. In fact, if there are clouds in the sky and they're gray, frequently I think they're pink instead of gray. And I get all excited about gray clouds until Corinne disabuses me of that and tells me what I'm really shooting is a dark gray or light gray cloud. So it's a lot of fun to come out and shoot fall colors, but as I said, without my color teller, I'd be completely in the dark, so to speak, as to what color I'm actually shooting. And in some ways it's a great asset because it makes me focus on light and composition. And on the other hand, I really feel like I'm missing out on something. And sometimes I think I'm missing out on something quite special. Anyway, that's the explanation. And if you ever hear me refer to something as a color that is completely and wildly incorrect, it's because I really have no idea what the color is. One of our favorite types of shots to find is a really green, dark green pine tree or juniper in amongst the colored aspens. And that's what we found here this morning. We have this beautiful little evergreen. It's just now being lit by the sun, so even though it's being lit, it's still very dark in this sort of brightly colored background, and I just find that kind of a shot really quite pretty. It can be done either as a color or a black and white. Both of those styles will look really good on this kind of a shot. So that's what the scene looks like. You can see the evergreen in amongst the aspens, and what I've also done here is I've actually backed away from the shot. I've actually backed away from the shot and set it up so that I can use my telephoto lens and really use it to focus in on the pine in amongst the aspens. Not too sure how colored the aspens are around the tree. They're obviously a different tone than the green of the pine, and that's really the most important bit of this kind of a shot. You can do this any time of the year where you get good contrast between a dark subject and lighter subjects around the tree.
Well, we've been fortunate enough to come out to a little clearing and found this lovely yellow aspen, and it's very nicely lit from the side. Early morning still, sun's getting up. One of the things that's nice to do is try and work your way into a composition where you can get a sunburst coming through a tree, and that's easiest to accomplish if you have a single tree and you can work your way around to the right density of leaves. Now sometimes you have to get set up and then wait for a few minutes as the sun rises or changes orientation, because the starburst will change quickly as the sun movement occurs. You'll need to have a very small aperture. I'm using f/16, and I'm not trying to get the entire tree in. I've set it up just to get a portion of the tree. Here's my composition on the back of the camera, and you can see it's quite bright now. I got my starburst just a moment ago. That's probably too much sun coming through. I'd have to readjust to filter that a little bit more through the trees. But that's the concept, and we'll show you the picture.
So I'm playing around in this grove of little tiny twisty aspens, and I've got it set up so that I'm looking at these little twisty trunks as the light kind of hits it on the side. So I'm side lighting these trunks, and frankly I'm just playing around with the composition. You know, sometimes I've got all three of the little trunks in there. Sometimes I've only got two. Sometimes I'm showing just part of the trunk up into the tree. Sometimes it's more all about the trunks. And it's one of the things I actually wanted to bring up. And we don't talk about this very much, but sometimes it's really important just to play. Play with the composition, play with where it could be. Even if you take a lot of pictures that don't work out, you don't have to show those to anybody. But you never know when you're gonna kind of fall on one of those really, truly interesting compositions. So as I said, don't forget to move around the tree, try different compositions, focus in, focus out, and just play with your composition. Sometimes that can yield some of the most terrific shots. So here's one of the compositions that I selected, and there's a couple elements I want to talk to you about this morning that I think are important. One of the things I've done here is I've tried to get really good separation between the three trunks. So they're very distinctly three trunks, they're very distinctly side lit in slightly different ways, and therefore kind of have this beautiful, interesting, sort of squiggly lines going up into the color. And I've only given you a hint of the color. I've not tried to actually make this about a tree, but make it about the interesting squiggly stumps or squiggly trunks. The other thing I'm doing that you might not realize when you're out here is I'm shooting almost a full stop dark. In fact, I'm exposing just for the lines, or just for the light on the trunks itself. I'm also shooting this with a very blue white balance. I'm shooting it around about 5,000, a little below 5,000. So it makes the trunks look much more white than they might otherwise if I was to warm up the photograph. So again, I'm playing around, having some fun with these trunks, and just trying a bunch of things. And that's what you guys should do as well. Just try various types of compositions until you start finding ones that you really like. So a couple little tricks when you go out to shoot handheld in these beautiful colors with the aspens. Most of the time there will be a breeze when you're out shooting, and that'll mean the aspen leaves are moving around a little bit. So move your ISO up. Right now I'm shooting at about 640, and that's pretty much freezing the leaves for me. The other thing too is that if you've got a stabilizer function and an autofocus, that will also really help keep your camera stable, and the autofocus will help you focus in these when you're out handheld. So those are things to keep in mind when you're out shooting. A final tip is to take your white balance and shift it down to around 4,500, between 4,000 and 5,000, and that'll help you capture the vibrance in the leaves. As you move it up higher, you'll tend to either oversaturate your camera's ability to capture the yellow, and it'll just, when you get home, you'll be terribly disappointed. It's okay if there's mostly reds and greens, you can move it up then, but if it's yellows, you really want to move it down, again, somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000, and you should be good to go.
During part of the trip, Corinne and I decided to put the video camera down and just focus on taking photographs. Here are some of the results from that effort.
We sure hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up.
And if you'd like to see more of our videos, we'd be happy if you'd subscribe. And if you have any comments, just put it down in the comment section below.
And don't forget, if you want to know when we release videos, hit that little bell button. Take care, and bye for now.
Bye for now.